What's going on, guys? Aarava here, and welcome back to my F1 2017 mod career mode here with Kimi Raikkonen's Ferrari car. We're here for episode number 13 today, or round number 14, I guess, for the Singapore Grand Prix, and we're in third place for the starting grid. You can see very, very close stuff in qualifying between the top three, maybe top four, really, if you include Vettel there in his lap time, but Hamilton and Bottas, pretty much nothing separating them on the front row, but they lock it out, so the two silver arrows looking good, in stark contrast to how they've looked before in real life at the Singapore Grand Prix, so who knows what their race pace will be like, but at least me and Vettel did lock out that second row. But of course we have a commanding lead in both championships, so not too worried about that, just looking to maybe have a fun Grand Prix out there and hopefully try and challenge the silver arrows and maybe try and go for a race victory. We haven't had one for a while there, so we'll see how we do. Obviously the two Red Bulls behind us may pose a threat. We'll just have to see with 31 laps to go around the Singapore Grand Prix, because we go to 5 red lights for round number 14. The 5 red lights are out and we're underway. Bottas had a good start, Vettel's had a great start on the left hand side. There he goes, pops into view, and we're down to 4th place. Can we try and hang it around the outside of the apex of turn 1? Going to turn to the outside of turn 2, and this is not actually where we want to be because Vettel's got that place on us, so we're down to 4th place now. I'm going to have to maybe look behind me for where Ricciardo is darting around behind me with the proximity arrows. Yellow flags out, so I think there's been some contact there for, I think that was one of the Renault cars, Jody and Palmer, but there goes Hamilton, then Bottas P2, Vettel P3, myself in P4, then you got the two Red Bull cars, and then look at that, Force India is trying to maybe overtake one of the Red Bull cars, or actually a Haas car. One of the Haas cars doing brilliantly there. I think that may be Romain Grosjean doing great there, scrapping away for what will be around P6, I think that is, or P7, and so there's the two Red Bull cars though. I think it's Daniel Ricciardo leading from Max Verstappen, but we've seen Red Bull be very, very good at Singapore in the past, so we'll have to see how everything shapes up in this race. But for now you can see we're just feeding through in 4th place, trying to stay on the back of Vettel, and we do so up until lap 3, going through the final corner on towards lap 4, and now we've got DRS, so can we try and overtake our teammate? We've been sat behind him for a while now till lap 4, but can we now make a move? DRS wide open down the inside. We set the fast lap of the Grand Prix, so it's all in our favour at the moment, but we just can't manage it. Look how close that was. Vettel closed the door at the last minute, and that was super, super close to having some contact and a front wing off there, so very, very cautious into turn 2, and a good thing I was. But now moving on to lap 5, this time we don't opt for a move into turn 1. I'm actually going to try and set myself up for maybe a move on the back straight, so through turn 2 I just try and concentrate on closing up to Vettel's gearbox as much as I can. But you can see on the bottom right there, just before we're on board, the tyres are really starting to go off, especially on the rears. These ultra softs are not holding up too well, at least for my car. Not too sure about Vettel or the two Mercedes cars, but at least for us. But let's try and make this move now down the inside of the back straight. We had DRS obviously, so able to get the speed on Vettel. We're still side by side, the move's not done there. Vettel's still defending down the inside. Can we go around the outside, get the traction down? We'll have the inside line now for the next corner, off camber corner, very awkward corner with the curb there on the left hand side, but we just managed to get it. Yes, we have, up into P3, but you can see immediately defending from Vettel and kind of holding up him and the two Red Bull cars, who are still Ricciardo and Verstappen, I think, lining up that way. But now we move on later into the same lap, lap 5, and you can see there, I said to Jeff, my engineer, to box this lap because my tyres are going off an absolute cliff, so I feel like I need to pit a little bit earlier now for the super soft tyres. So in for that pit stop, hopefully it can be a pretty good one, and hopefully we can get out some clean air, and hopefully not too hampered by overtaking people. Obviously Singapore street circuit, it's not too easy to pass. I mean, you could see that with Vettel, you know, I tried it once and I got blocked off into turn 2, so it's definitely not an easy task to overtake today, but a very, very amazing pit stop from Ferrari there. 1.8 solid. Actually, a few of you guys have noticed that in lots of the previous episodes actually, that our team Ferrari, you know, we've had a few little strategy niggles with myself and the team together, but they've been absolutely on it with the pit stops. They've been absolutely fantastic. There's been so many like sub 1.9 pit stops, so yeah, pretty damn decent. So we come out in a load of clean air, as you can clearly see, because we're just all alone on track. So now we're pushing on now. We've moved on to lap 7. We finally caught up to a car of Marcus Ericsson. Obviously he's not going to be too much of a challenge for us. Setting the fast lap of the Grand Prix as we do it with DRS wide open left hand side, and this should be a pretty easy move. We tuck into the racing line, just about missed the apex a little bit, go a little bit deep there into the next part of the corner, but it's fine. We're up into P17 now out of 18 runners, so just confirming there definitely were 2 cars that went out early on in the Grand Prix. I believe it was Jolyon Palmer and maybe one of the Haas cars, I think. But now we've closed up to a bit of a train here. We find ourselves behind Nico Hülkenberg, then a Haas car of, I think, Grosjean, I want to say. Or no, it's Magnussen actually, so it definitely wasn't that one of the Haas cars that went out in the Grand Prix. But we make a lunging move on Nico Hülkenberg. Very, very late move, and we make a little bit of contact there on the exit. Sorry, Nico, but we just about make that move, and we're getting a move on now. You can see up ahead Magnussen, then we've got Alonso, and then I think that's Danica Fiat in the first of the Toro Rossos we've seen today, but made that very, very late move on the Holcomb mode. Very, very nice move into the hairpin corner, but very, very close. Even made some contact for good measure there, but luckily FI not going to badger us too much about that. But now, can we try and just, well, we will get right up to the back of Magnussen, but really, can we try and overtake him very early on? Hopefully, I think we can maybe do the same thing we did to Ericsson. I mean, you know, just get a good run through the final corner, get DRS wide open, and hopefully, I mean, Magnussen's got the Ferrari engine in the back of that car, but hopefully we've got the downforce through the final corner. Yes, we do. Here we go, open the DRS, but he's going to have a bit of slipstream on Alonso. Alonso's actually going to go for a move on Kvyat. Can we copy him? Copycat move here, down the inside of turn 1. Me and Alonso make a synchronized move, although I lose the back end a little bit. I have to give Magnussen the room, whereas Alonso's already got Kvyat there, and so on the exit of turn 2, still fighting Kevin Magnussen. He's put up a decent fight, actually, so fair play to him, but around the outside of this next corner into the back straight, opening DRS now, and we'll get that place on Magnussen, and we're going to cut straight on to the back of Carlos Sainz. So I think, wait, hang on, so my apologies, I think that wasn't Kvyat then, that was Carlos Sainz. Okay, my bad. I thought it was Sainz the entire time, but I thought it was Kvyat the entire time, but it was Sainz. Anyway, it's a Toro Rosso. We're going to try and overtake it, and we're going to make a diving move down the inside, lock up on the left tyre a little bit. No dramas though, because we've made the apex, and we're all fine, and up into P13. So very nice move. 2 moves made in that hairpin corner. Obviously, the Ferrari car, very well balanced, very good race car in the 2017 season, and we've got a lot more downforce than most of these guys here. Can we try and make a move on Alonso now, down to turn 1 on lap 11. There's Ricciardo, it is. Yeah, Ricciardo coming out of the pits. It's going to be very, very close. Start pit sandwich. Oh no, we've been spun round. Oh no, we made some contact with Alonso's side pod, I think that was. And now as we spin ourselves round, well, I think we made a second bit of contact with a car. I don't know which car that was. Some other random car that I can't see. It wasn't Perez. It was just another car that's gone through. But oh, it's such a shame. So we made some contact with Alonso. I think, to be fair, that was a bit of a racing incident. It was, as I was saying, it was going to be very, very close with Ricciardo, and I was trying my best to maybe get to go like in between the two, but Alonso didn't want to give me the room, so he just continued to kind of close me off. I probably should have backed out of it, so probably a racing incident, probably leaning more towards my fault. But I think what happened was, I think my right front tyre wedged between Alonso's middle part of the side pod and his rear left tyre, and I kind of just got spun round. But anyway, so we're going to have to try and make our way back up the grid, and we've done so already. 1 place made on Sergio Perez there. Nice little move, and now a lunge on Ericsson. So we've repassed Ericsson. He's probably had enough of seeing my rear end once we passed him. But that was a really nice move on Perez, actually, previously, as I was talking about the Alonso incident. But yeah, quite annoying. Another kind of incident in the race hampering our progress there. But that was, I would say, a racing incident, probably leaning towards a little bit of my fault. I maybe could have, in hindsight, broke a little bit and kind of just backed out of it, but I did want to try and get the move on Ricciardo, because Ricciardo was behind us before the pit stop. So if I had just broke and let Alonso and Ricciardo get that place, I would have been behind one of the Red Bull cars, which I was not behind before. So yeah, a little bit of an iffy one there. But anyway, we're on to lap 15 now, halfway through this Grand Prix. Plenty of clean air now. Up into P6, you saw, overtook some people from P9 to P6. And now we're just chasing down Sebastian Vettel. And speaking of the devil, now on lap 19, 4 laps later, we've eventually caught up to our German teammate in the other Ferrari car. We've got DRS open here on the back straight. So we've got about 12 laps left in this Grand Prix. So at the moment, Vettel's down in P5. I would suspect the 2 Red Bull cars, that means, are ahead of him, and the 2 Mercs. So yeah, surprisingly, it looks like the Ferrari car is not really performing too well around Singapore. Obviously, I made the earlier pit stop because my tyres were going off. Also, that's another thing. I don't know if I'm able to go to the end of the Grand Prix on this set of Super Softs. Hopefully I can, but we'll have to see. But for now, I'm just concentrating on trying to catch Sebastian Vettel with 11 laps to go here. But up ahead, you can see this is a fight between Valtteri Bottas, who finds himself in actually behind one of the Red Bull cars of, I think this is Verstappen. So Bottas now trying to re-overtake on the Red Bull car. So he's down in P4, surprisingly. He's going to have DRS, obviously. Through that long shot, though, we got a confirmation. I think it's Lewis Hamilton that leads this Grand Prix still from Daniel Ricciardo. And now, will it be Valtteri Bottas? He makes a move down the inside, side by side, the Mercedes and Red Bull go, and looks like Valtteri has got that squeeze Verstappen out very aggressively, actually. To say Valtteri Bottas, we know how he drives in real life, kind of calm and collected. We've not really seen too much aggression from him like that in real life, so he slices off Verstappen there and gets that podium position there to join his teammate on the podium. But now, speaking back to us, we're still trying to chase down Sebastian Vettel. Only now we're really in a good range of DRS. Now, can we make a move into turn 1 this time, like previously in the Grand Prix? Although this time we're going to go very, a lot more aggressive into turn 2 and cut Vettel off into on the exit of turn 2. And being a lot more kind of no Mr. Nice Guy like we were earlier on in the Grand Prix, because I want to make that move stick. but Vettel will have, I think, DRS back on me, because I think the DRS detection point, yep, it's just before that back straight, so he'll have DRS back on her. So here he comes, the left-hand side, he's going to go to the inside, bit of contact made there, wheel banging, the hand of anger goes in the cockpit, I think, and we go a little bit loose on the exit, still side by side, into the next sector, down the inside, over the curbing, a little bit aggressively, and we're going to try and hang it around the outside. We've got the traction actually there, just on the exit, just a bit of traction in third gear, we found it, and so we're going to keep that 5th place. I was going to say we've got that place, but we did initially actually get P5 before that back straight, so we've kept P5 there at least. But now onto lap 23 now, we've got some developments here. You can see I'm going to box this lap because Vettel has actually already pit now for a second pit stop, and I definitely have to pit because my tyres are going very, very off. That rear right tyre was like 65 or something like that, or in the 60 region. Would have been around 70 by the time we got to the end of the race, and so that, you guys know, that's in the kind of region for when a puncture could occur. So we're going to make, unfortunately, a late pit stop. Well, not a late pit stop. You know, we've got 7 laps to go. Another stellar pit stop, though, by the way. 1.8 there. Great stuff from Ferrari. But, yeah, kind of surprising. Vettel having to make a pit stop as well. I think we're the only team that has to do a 2-stop. So very, very surprising. Unlike in real life, the Ferrari car, our Ferrari car, mine and Vettel's, not performing at Singapore, and the Mercedes and Red Bull cars, well, Red Bull obviously not surprising, but the Mercedes car surprisingly working very well at Singapore, whereas in real life it was the other way around, if you remember, back to 2016, or not really 2015 for the Ferrari and the Mercedes, and obviously Red Bull performed very, very well in the 2016 Grand Prix with Ricciardo making a charge on Rosberg, wasn't it, at the end of the Grand Prix, or I think it was the other way around, I can't remember exactly, it was a year ago. Anyway, so we're now chasing down Esteban Ocon now, so we've established that, unfortunately, we're probably the only team that's made a 2-stop, so I have to make the most of it. At this point, at least I'm better off than Vettel, because I think Vettel's behind me in traffic, out of the points at the moment, behind Danny Kvyat, so at least we've got points for now, but we've got 6 laps left, so hopefully we can try and overtake Esteban Ocon, but you can see I'm actually struggling to close up to him, and so much dirty air. Wow, what a move, what a save. That was a very high-speed save, even with DRS open, so that's not what you want to be doing, but, you know, at least that save looked pretty cool, I think, in my opinion, but, yeah, getting a lot of dirty air through the final corner there, so that's one thing about this mod. I'm not too happy that has been kind of simulated quite well there. The dirty air does actually get affected quite well. Obviously, it's very hard for anyone watching footage to tell, but if you're driving yourself, you can just tell that natural understeer that kicks in there. And down the back straight, you can see I've not caught Ocon too much. I mean, he's locked up a little bit, so he may have a move there very, very close to the wall, left-hand side, but actually just in a straight line, Ocon's actually got me for pace down a straight line, and you can see he got very close to that wall, and Ocon's doing, to be fair to him, a stellar job at defending from me, obviously trying his hardest to get good points for Force India, but now we move on to lap 27 now, we've got 4 laps to go. Can we try and overtake him with the dying kind of stages in this Grand Prix yet again, going sideways there through the final corner. This time, can we get a good run? I think we've got a much better run through the final corner this time, opening DRS, here we go, side by side with the Frenchman now, down into turn 1. Can we get this done? Yes, we can. Lunging into turn 1, getting a little bit wide though, but it's fine. We've got it into turn 2. But now the issue is he may do a Sebastian Vettel to us. He may try and get DRS now. He will have DRS, actually, sorry. He will have DRS on us on the back straight. And I already talked about the straight line speed of the Force India now. So as we go a little bit wayward on the exit of the corner, is this going to be Ocon re-overtaking us down this main straight? Here he comes. DRS slipstream. He's going to make a very late move down the inside. Going to have to give him the space there. Lock up a little bit. Going side by side a little bit. A side pod contact made there, but all fair enough. Down the inside of this next corner into the next sector, and we squeeze him out there, and we're going to keep P8 for now, and we have to be very, very aggressive on the defensive move there to keep the place on Ocon, thankfully. But now we move on to the second last lap of the Grand Prix, and Sergio Perez is out of this Grand Prix, so Ocon's teammate, what a shame there on the second last lap of the Grand Prix. That is really, really quite unfortunate, because I think Perez was in a very good, I think P5 I want to say, because the 2 Red Bulls and 2 Mercedes occupy the top 4. So very, very unlucky for Sergio Perez there to be out from a P5 at Singapore. That's yeah, kind of a very, very unfortunate. That's a kind of Fernando Alonso McLaren style retirement, really, with 2 laps to go. So unlucky, Perez, unlucky. But so we're going to come through now for P7 in this Grand Prix. A good recovery, but all round a pretty abysmal Grand Prix for Ferrari. Ferrari as a whole, with Lewis Hamilton winning, Daniel Ricciardo second, Valtteri Bottas with the fast lap of the Grand Prix in third place. So Bottas had to make a really big charge there to overtake Verstappen there. And you can see there, he set the fast lap of the Grand Prix, and there is Alonso, the man who he had the contact with, unfortunately. But you know what, we had that cushion, so that's what the cushion's there for. So good thing we did have it. So knock on wood, no more kind of bad luck comes towards us, because the cushion's not going to last for too long, because that's 2 wins in a row now for Hamilton. But we stay in P1, Vettel P2, Hamilton P3, closing up to Vettel there in the points. But in the constructors, Mercedes do finally break the 300 barrier, but Ferrari still looking good with 410. But that's, as I said, 2 wins on the bounce now for Hamilton. So here's hoping either me and Vettel can get the next win, just to feel a bit more comfortable there. But we've not got too long to go now. We're around 14. There's only 6 rounds left in this championship. So I keep saying that, you know, it's good we got the cushion. Not, you know, we got a long to go. We got a long way to go though. It's actually not that long now. We've only got 6 rounds left. So it's actually, you know, it's starting to look very, very good for us. But I think we need to get our act together a little bit. Also, with Ferrari, we've had a few mistakes here with the pit stops, you know, strategy, and this time round, just surprising that we just didn't have that much pace. I mean, the tyres just went off. I mean, we had pace because we did set some fast laps earlier on in the Grand Prix, but obviously we had some kind of issues with the tyres like Mercedes had back in 2015. Very, very odd. But anyway, guys, if you have enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And if you're interested, then do get subscribed for weekly videos. I've been over, home to the rest of the day, and we'll see you guys next time.